Und damit willkommen zurück zu The Great Ace Attorney Resource. Resource 2 Chronicles. So wird ein Schuh draus, muss man sagen. Dementsprechend. Schon nur, dass ich mal wieder ein bisschen weiter gedrückt habe. Aber jetzt machen wir mal hier weiter, weil Pünktchen ist hier. Well, Chief Water Darley Vigil. I know there are memories on your head that can explain what happened on the 17th Juni 10 years ago. And now it's time for you to track them up. Mr. Vigil. Ja, lass es raus, yes. The whole prison, it was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped, he was killed in the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? Oh boy, Order. Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened at the image, the screens. Oh my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who seems a ghost. Yes, a Nachträber. But truly those reports were extragated. There were tractors at the sands. Trace of what? In Lowgate Cemetery at plot number 139. Blood, lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously something terrible had happened there. The death of conspirants and the depravity from which these tales emerging are quite staggering. I have reread the police records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convicts managed to escape in the first place, and the conclusions researched by the investigating team was that a member of a prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that a prisoner water up the man's bit of for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it, of using that Miles murders executing as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now, the horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the executing, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I am sorry, Delay. This is a serious business, but I can help you now. As chief order, you were responsible of overseeing the executing before Well, it seems the fellas Scotland Yet want to have a few words with you about it. You'd better pack your things, lady. You to attend in person. As soon as she told me that, my mind just went completely blank, and the next thing I knew, the professor's the most hated killer in Europe, and I let him escape. I'm finished. My life is over. Hallo? Umfallen verboten, würde jemand behaupten. Skandalös. Sehr skandalös, was hier alles vor sich geht. Order. I leave. Fetch a doctor and once. Irgendwie fühlst du das schon wieder nach einem To Be Continue an. Muss man mal fairerweise sagen. Kurt is a turnant for today with Mendenti Effect. Also dementsprechend.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
Oh boy. Ein To Be Continue. Also wenn man das immer so vorher mal teilweise wüsste, worauf das immer alles hinausspielt, muss man mal fairerweise sagen. Natürlich speichert man das bis jetzt einmal ab, muss man sagen. Muss man mal wirklich fairerweise sagen. Da könnte man das auch besser planen, muss man sagen, aber das ist immer mal realistisch. Das kann man eben schlecht im Vorfeld vorausplanen, muss man sagen. Aber so wie es aussieht, 2. November 3:38 Uhr, 15:38 Uhr, Scholms Suite. Dementsprechend haben wir jetzt wieder ein bisschen Freizeit, I guess, oder müssen wir noch untersuchen? Zumindest haben wir jetzt halt erstmal Freizeit vom Gericht, würde ich behaupten. Oh fuck, jetzt habe ich vergessen vorzulesen. I know it I current with the belief after the current season. What a current, and it seems Mr. Virgil was taken to hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago, Mr. Virgil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor's office, but ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of this event from his mind. Nobody knew his secret, not his family, not even the man left, but I forgot it out into the open. What was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark? I wonder. Rono. Oh, Iris. Oh, Iris. You were miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of something tea for you. Oh, thank you. Oh, ich trinke by the way auch Tee. Nur mal nebenbei gesagt, dass dementsprechend passend irgendwie. Gut, aktuell zur Aufnahme ist es ja auch wirklich fett ausforschen wie sonst. Muss man mal fairerweise sagen. You and Susie have had an hosting day for far, haven't you? Oh. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Franz is? When we came out of the courtroom, back into the defense and chamber, he'd disappeared. Oh no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said, we must leave. Mal schauen, wo er überhaupt dann hin ist. I wonder he's pursuing his mystery of Inspector Gregson says. Hey, you know what Hurley always saying, don't you? There are mysterious in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For constructions of solutions comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old bones, you often open your own too. But he just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. That's true. But that's what I like about Hurley after all. I suppose that's a lot of great detective in some ways. So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Oh, do you have time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Die gute alte Deadline, muss man mal sagen. Oh, I'm so looking forward to a brand new story to begin the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the day before I have a deadline. You do, poor Mr. Jones. I'm sure that's a very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. Dementsprechend würde ich mal behaupten, können wir mit ihr ein bisschen über die ganze Sachverhalt hier reden. Dementsprechend, yay. Mal schauen, was dabei herauskommen wird. So, how did it go in court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened. Was the thing increasingly clear? Lord Van Six definitely didn't do it. Oh, goody. Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? And there was another development to Kazuma. Yes, it's quite clear now. With Kazuma-sama, it's not himself. The way he's acting is almost as he's possessed. I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound. The way he was chasing down Mr. Birch's forgotten past, he is not normally so merciless persistent. Oh Mann. man, oh man, oh man. What's going on in his head, I wonder. I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going to throw. Das fragt man sich schon teilweise wirklich, was da so vor sich geht, I guess. If Corrections was really murdered the day before his body was discovered, then Lord von Six has to be innocent, you see. What the day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work, just as be examining the corpse surely. Yes, you would accept so, but curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. This is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Land von Six thought, aren't you? Answer. Are you? Do you mean? I mean, what was it doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place? According to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, did he? And it turns out that little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderfully delicious plot. But then why was that notice board in the covered in all those particular papers about cases with a link to the Reaper? I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this. Ich höre jetzt gerade so der Shooter im Hintergrund, das muss ich mal fairerweise dazu gerade sagen. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horrible delicious. We must start looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late. Oh, Gregson's movements, oh Mann, oh Mann, oh Mann, da haben wir ja noch was zu bereden. Ich habe teilweise immer schon die Befürchtung, dass man nichts in Pubfilmes kriegen, I guess. I never imagined I might have to be investigating on Inspector's movements. Well, according to the entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red Heat Legal the day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same with Hurley? Well, Mr. Sholmes, trying to appeal where the inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it had been the other way around. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red Heat legal that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was virtually in the position of Gregson identification. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my, yes, you are absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector had something to do that he wished to keep secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips, but perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and Wien-Share. Also Salz und Essig. Muss man mal fairerweise mal sagen. Sagen wir das mal so, wie es ist. I think perhaps we should try to more away from food analogies. Well, anyway, if Lord von Six is filled, need to investigations, corrections. I agree, we must try to find out always what he wants to know. Oh boy, Mr. Vetch's conditions. We shall say there isn't set the name of the lady who came to visit early yesterday. That's right, to ask Mr. Shums if he would help her to find his missing husband. Only Mr. Shums completely passed the book to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Mitchell had been taken to hospital? Do you know which one? Müsste das nicht das übliche Verdächtige sein? It's St. Sinners. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospital in London have closed down. But that's amazing, Bruno. You have found the lady's husband already. Well, I suppose I have by accident. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Mitchell, wenn Virtual irgendwie dazu sagen, wo da kein R mit drin ist, Mitchell was the chief warder at the prisoner. He was responsible for overseeing the professor incarcerations. No. So when the victims escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Oh, sometimes I really don't want to grow up. There's more for 10 years after that. While he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be his stand-in to impersonate the inspector, to impersonate Grexy, but why? I have absolutely no idea. Oh, Juni was right, I'm starting to think all adults are up to not good now, including you, Bruno. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor and to Inspector Gregson, so I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Virtual, don't you? Back to Sinners then. Okay, dann gehen wir also nennenswerterweise zum Krankenhaus jetzt, I guess. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let us investigate, my dear fellows. Oh, Iris, you're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson's shooting iron will soon set them straight. That water pistol. It's stuffed full of a piping hot, extra special blend of mine. Then I'm quite sure it will be very effective. I'd better be careful not to hide anything. Well, it feels a little strange that Mr. Jones is nowhere to be shut still. Let's go and see what we can find out. Yes. Also, da können wir jetzt auch noch mal hin. 2. November. Ich weiß, ich sollte da eigentlich hin. Ich glaube, das ist... Right, Mr. Naruto, it is rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of your investigation. It's just according to me that I might have forgotten something when we left this morning. As long you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong. Oh yes, of course. I must get back to work as soon as possible. Okay. Nein, nicht dahin. Ich gehe gerne, gut und gerne. Ob da auch noch was? 2. November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. No arguments, Prosecutor. Also wie was Lord Strong hatte damit zu sagen hat und was da vielleicht noch für ein Gespräch zustande kommen wird, meine Lieben. Dies und vieles mehr erfahren wir am nächsten Mal. Vielen Dank fürs Einschalten und bis zum nächsten Mal. Macht's gut. Auf Wiedersehen.